Coming to you live from Alola's Battle Royale Dome, it's the one, the only PUCL Battlecast.
Hello and welcome to episode 40 of the Battlecast, brought to you today by National Dex number 40, Wigglytuff, Yumta. I am your host, Seth Vilo, and I've got two brilliant minds to talk about our particularly interesting topic today.
Were they sick?
I don't know. I got you guys instead because you happened to show up in the Discord channel. But... yeah, you heard their voices. We are talking BSS today and the PUCL Summer League, so I got the people who know much more about it than me. Are both of you gym leaders, or is just one of you?
Both of us are gym leaders.
Both of you
I'm
are.
not this year. I used to.
Oh, wait,
I
no,
was
he's
one
challenging all of them. That's what it is.
Ah.
Yeah, I could actually play for the first time. I'm excited.
Nice. Well, formal introductions are due. We've got Lynian here.
Hi, I'm the Birdman this year.
Excellent, excellent. I hate you. And we have Shark as well.
Hello.
Finnegan.
I used to be the ground guy last year.
Well, you're far less grounded this year, but, you know, I won't hold it against you.
Seth, I want you to know that I actually had Halucha on a team and took it off.
I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. I don't know if you guys heard the episode this week, but whoever had the
Liger.
Halucha Dex entry,
yeah,
that was it. They accidentally dropped a hint of "I'm sorry, Seth." Halucha immediately.
Could have been Crab Ramen-able.
Ugh, I hate
Could have been anything.
that Pokemon so much. Anyway, we're not here to talk about things Seth hates. That's too lengthy a topic. We're here to talk about battling Pokemon. So what have you guys been doing as far as like the video game? Be that laddering, BSS practice, Lynian probably prepping for your gym team, I imagine. How about you go first? What have you been up to?
Prepping for a gym team, you imagine. I ran it a couple times, and it's fine. I was mostly practicing on the easy team, and it is predictable. The harder team wins about as much as I'd like. It's a fairly good, competent team. But the easy team, if you see what's going to happen, it's very easy to stop.
That's right. You sent me that link. Ooh, that's going to be fun for people to figure out.
But beyond that, I have been mindlessly rand-batting way more than I should. I don't know how high I got, but I think it was around 1450 last time I checked.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Not bad. Yeah, that's actually really good for Ranbat.
Yeah, with a 51% win rate, because I just bail out half the time.
Yeah.
How about you, Shark? What have you been up to the last time since you've been on the show? It's been a bit, well, I think a couple months.
Yep. So I'm in a new draft league that it is a Uber's Natdex draft league.
Oh, that's really cool sounding.
Yeah, me and P. McGee end up both are in the same league, so it's been kind of fun working with him on that. But I have a really fun team that I've dubbed Sandquaza. First pick, I was near the back of the wheel, so I ended up picking Rayquaza as my main Uber of choice. Nice. And I just kind of picked up, I got Protean Grin kind of off of that, and then I had to get some defensive backbone with Sylveon and Jirachi. And then I just saw Excadrill just sitting there still in round 5, and I'm like, I should probably pick that up just to give me a good ground type. And then I was like, oh, I can get that, and then Mega T-Tar, because no one's going to pick Mega T-Tar. And I'm like, okay, cool. Then now I got a Sandcore. And then dropped...
not Mega, but basically, Protean Greninja wasn't your Ubers?
Well, the Uber League is designed... they have it like a tiered system where the busted... Well, first of all, the busted Ubers, like Shadow Rider, Zacian, Kyogre, those are banned. And then they have it where you can get one, like, platinum level Uber, which is things like Yveltal, Mewtwo, and Marshadow, Mega Gengar, or you can get like 2 other Ubers basically. Which things like, you can get something like a Rayquaza and my Greninja, or you can get like Urshifu Single Strike and a Magearna. That's like a fairly popular little core that you can make. So I've got both.
Okay.
So
yeah, I can see it.
Mm-hmm. And someone dropped Dracovish in the week 0 free agency. So I had to just change up my team just a little bit to pick it up. So now I have a really scary team with the sand. Thanks to Airlock, Rayquaza is immune to Sandstorm.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
It doesn't stop sand. It just makes it immune. So I've got Jirachi, Excadrill, Megatitar, and Rayquaza that are all immune to sand on this team.
Wow. I suppose you could make Dracovish immune to it as well if you really wanted to. Mm-hmm. But that's hilarious.
I can play around with all sorts of fun stuff with Dracovish with the sand option as well. So that's been fun so far. I got a 6-0 last week thanks off the back of Sylveon, who had 0 checks.
Wow. Good on you. That's crazy. Well,
but then otherwise I've been just prepping for Summer League and then just doing the free-for-all Ranbats. Just like once or twice a day, I just pull that up just because I like that one more.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, I haven't been up to much, being honest. I've been a little bit lazy on my VGC or video game Smogon, whatever you want to say, things, because I have had a resurgence of TCG things because my local events are starting to kick back in. Nature is healing, so I've been trying to get brushed up there. So I actually went to a pre-release this weekend. That was fun.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I'm a little rusty on the video game stuff. But I mean, it's just a couple weeks. Not much has changed over the last few weeks overall, except in some of the lower tiers, which we'll get to at tier time. With that, though, I think this accidentally is a good time to cut it. And let's go to tier time and talk about what I'm hinting at. So we'll see you guys on the other side.
It's tier time.
And welcome back. We are here in tier time, and let's start from the top like we almost always do. What's going on in Ubers, Shark?
All right, so currently we got the Zacian Hero of Many Battles suspect test that is ongoing right now. It ends June 13th, and the first couple of people have started posting in whether they're voting to ban or unban, and it's kind of divisive, leaning towards ban, just because giving Zacian the ability to choose an item lets it be able to have a lot more flexibility and hit a lot harder than the Crown form.
Technically it's more powerful than Crowned, like you said.
So it's
even with that 130 attack.
Mm-hmm. Just that extra, the multipliers is what really stacks it up.
Turns out that if you give a thing a high attack stat and a high speed stat and a +1 whenever it switches in, it's good?
Yeah.
I don't know how we could have foreseen this.
Yeah, you get a band on top of a
mouse
band.
and cookie vibes. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you take a cookie away from a mouse, it will replace it with a choice band.
Exactly. Which just makes it that much harder to hit. So it loses a little bit of the speed. It loses the extra power from its steel moves, but it's still very hard to stop this, and it's going to be close because it's going to require a super majority to get there. So I'll keep watching that.
Oh yeah.
But otherwise,
I think it'll be real close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, otherwise, Ubers is still kind of the same as it's always been lately. So it's still dealing with, losing Zacian and Shadow Rider. So
it's actually still got Shadow Rider for right now, which I imagine will be pretty quickly the next suspect test. They skipped a step and got rid of Shadow Tag in between Crowned form and this current suspect test. So I am curious how quickly it'll be before they attempt a Shadow Rider test after this one's done.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll happen a lot faster if this doesn't get banned. If this doesn't get banned, I think we see Shadow Rider pretty much immediately. If it does, they'll give it time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They like to see if things develop and what happens, so we'll find out. Moving down the ladder, though, we've got OU, which I'll talk about, and overall, nothing being suspected right now, nothing even really all that much on the radar, except maybe Dragapult. There's still some very, I would say, a loud minority calling for a Dragapult ban. Others are calling for other things to be looked into suspect-wise, like Volcarona. Again, the heavy-duty boots argument that we talked about last month. But nothing really takes the top. I know the council's also talking about the King's Rock issue that we discussed last month. That's still ongoing. No resolution there yet, but I'll group it with OU as far as right now. Other trends, though, because that's kind of what's always fun to talk about with OU. It's arguably one of the more rapid trend-setting, developing tiers just because of the sheer amount of people that play it. Urshifu Moist, or rather, Urshifu Rapid Strike.
I hate that.
Has finally... Other people call it Moist Shifu, which I like a lot better, just because of how much I hate it. It has definitely taken up the Single Strike's crown and is probably one of the top Pokemon right now, maybe even in the top 10 or top 5. Tournament usage would definitely say that. They've got a World Cup of Pokemon or something going on as of recording, and it is one of the more lethal things in that tournament, especially, obviously, when you pair it with Future Sight, because what do you switch into a Moist Shifu? Toxapex. What does it not like taking? Future Sight from a Slowking. So, yeah, that's something else. On that same vein, in the latest viability ranking, Slowking was raised to S rank alongside Dragapult and Landorus Therian. I don't understand this reasoning. I've seen people talk about it. I've seen like Finchinator mention that it is deserving of it, and I get it. It's good, but I still don't see S rank for me personally.
This generation has honestly been super kind to the Slow King line. All of them have just... Yeah. I feel like all of them have gained a lot of rankings in recent times here.
Before this generation, the last time they were anything resembling OU was when they were UU in Ruby and Sapphire.
Yeah. Well, Slowbro saw some usage last gen, just because it's cool with Regenerator, but...
It was still RU is the thing.
Yeah. King was pretty good in lower tiers, but now here it is, like King of OU. Oh, King of OU. Huh. I didn't...
It took a while. It was a slow king.
Yeah, it was a slow king. It took its generations. But yeah, it is very effective. Even if I personally don't think it's S rank, it's still extremely effective with its one set, which is just the bulky one with boots. You run Scald, Future Sight, Slack Off, and Teleport. And the combination of Future Sight, a good special attack stat, Regenerator, and Teleport make it what it is, really.
Yeah,
it's
I think that
powerful and supports.
Teleport's such a good pivoting move with Regenerator as well. I think that's what's done a lot of this work.
Yeah. That and Boots, honestly, is another one, so it can actually hold on to that regen healing. Is it meta-defining? I don't think so. It's just very good. So it's no different than Heatran in that regard. But it does enable things like Moist Shifu.
I'd push back. I think it's defining, but not overwhelming. You have to have an answer for it. You have to be able to plan around it, and it is single-handedly setting up top 5 contenders. Like, it's setting up Urshifu. Yeah. It's setting up a lot of those like other sweepers, and if you can do that on your own, then yeah, I think that's deserving of a high tier. I think S is a bit of an exaggeration. I would say like A.
Yeah. Good summary, I think. Some other things trend-wise that are starting up. Tapu Fini has seen a massive resurgence as something that can counter or at least check for a few times Moist Shifu, as well as things like Bisharp and Weavile a little bit. both of them are seeing a lot of play still. They were seeing the trend start last month when we did Battlecast. Now they've solidly set themselves in the tier really well. So Tapu Fini is starting to pop up with those, particularly the Choice Scarf set, which I've started using. It's actually really cool, really good. Even though it's popular, people still don't expect it. And, you know, it's got Trick now as of, I think, this generation, so you can Trick Scarf something onto, like, a Toxapex that you hate.
Or a Slowking.
Tapu Fini. Or a Slowking, yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
It'll come in and absorb the Moonblast, the Hydro Pump, and suddenly it can only do one thing. So, does that really hinder it? Kind of. I mean, it takes away the boots and makes it so it can only Future Sight and Switch, no teleport. But I mean, yeah, whatever. The Calm Mindset is still really good too. But yeah, Tapu Fini's doing real well. One casualty of the Bisharp Weavile surge is Mandibuzz is basically gone. Like, if you're using Mandibuzz on a team, just switch it with Corviknight and your team will be better. Like, the only reason that Mandibuzz outshines Corviknight is being a Dragapult switch in, and exactly that. Maybe Aegislash, but that's UU. Who cares? It's not even OU anymore. What do we care about a Ghost Sword? But yeah, if you're using Mandibuzz, just use Corviknight. Your team will improve. That's sad to say, but yeah. Also, Buzzwole is starting to pop off again for the same kind of reason. Bisharp and Weavile are here. It's a really good check to Urshifu Rapid Strike as well, and it still checks the offensive grasses that are plaguing OU. So that is the state of things at the moment.
Woo! UU!
Yeah.
Banned
UU!
Light Clay.
Lynian, take us away.
They banned Light Clay. Was this deserved?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So basically, the people down at UU went down to the basement, which is RU, and they talked out a problem, which was screen setters and Aurora Veil and all of that. It's just really frustrating. It grinds the pace down and can make things play really defensively. It's just blech. It makes a lot of things. It compresses a lot of play into turns when it's up and defog, and long story short, it's a mess. And when you don't have the kill power to get through it that the upper tiers have, it just gets worse. So both of them quick banned it. They said they might revisit in the future, but they would but it's better to ban an item than to ban every single setter. And it was just awful. It was awful.
Yeah.
They're thinking that Caesar and Mew, they won't even need to ban them because they're just gonna go.
Yeah. Yeah, they're predicted to be OU next month if the trend is still there. Like, number-wise, they are OU right now, but since shifts don't officially happen now till every 3 months. Yeah. They're not yet.
Mantine is catching some momentum. It's going to do the Huntail Spiral, or Huntail Twist Gorbis Spiral. I don't know why I remember that. Since it checks a ton of popular attackers. Dragalge is really fun because Moongus is a big wall, and you don't know how hard I'm resisting the urge to say sus. So Dragalge, what it can do is come in and sleep talk, and nothing can switch into it, and a Moongus putting it to sleep just doesn't do much to it if you go in. It is still a tech option. You're not going to be able to have it work every time, but it's something that if you see that they're running that fairly popular Among Us set, you can just come in and sleep talk away.
Among Us.
Though
one
they
thing
may
I do want to
be suspicious. Sorry.
Don't be suspicious. Anyway, one thing I do want to just kind of clarify a tiny bit is with the Light Clay ban. It was only banned in UU officially, but that means that it's banned in every tier below that as well. So the entire way down, UU all the way down to ZU or everything, like NFE even.
It's Light Clay all the way down. Got it.
Yep. Yeah. That's just how the bans work. That's kind of like how the Dynamax thing in OU happened, where since OU banned it, it was banned all the way down. So just so you don't run over to NU and attempt to run Light Clay and get mad at the team creator.
Look, let's just get NFE with Dynamax. How bad can that be?
How bad can it be?
They don't have Ditto. How bad can it be?
Eviolite, double HP. Excellent. Yay.
Oh, yeah. Corsola, just...
Galarian Corsola with twice as much HP.
Well, the thing is, Galarian Corsola is terrible for Dynamax. We're going way too far in this joke.
That's fair.
Galarian
That's probably
Corsola
Big
is
Monkey.
terrible for Dynamax, because you don't attack with it.
You don't. Yeah, I forgot.
It's you have
True.
4 max guards.
You just strength sap for days. Why does knockoff exist? Galarian Corsola is the perfect Pokemon. I'm so mad.
Just give Galarian
It was a
Corsola
perfect
sticky
Halucha
hold.
killer.
Just give it sticky
It was a
hold.
Halucha
It's
killer.
fine.
No, Cursed Body is so funny.
I agree, but give it sticky hold, then you're good.
I know, gosh.
Just take the boosted
Anyway.
knockoffs, and you get the Eviolite.
Take them.
Win-win.
Strength sap it. You're making weaker anyway until Bisharp comes in and ruins your day.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Anyway, moving down the ladder, I've got RU. Per Lynian's comment, Light Clay is banned, as was kind of the collaboration anyway, because RU was going to do it if UU didn't. Even with Light Clay gone, though, Heavy Offense, Hyper Offense, whatever you want to call it, is still viable. It's just got to kind of change its song a little bit. Instead of having your lead be a screen setter and going to town there, you instead lead with something like Ribombee, or a Suicide Stealth Rocker like... I'm gonna say one just because I have Gen 4 in my brain. Azelf. I don't know if Azelf is RU or not, but that's just the first one
Keep
that comes
going.
to mind. So yeah.
No, it's UU.
That is... It's UU? Okay. Not Azelf then. Maybe Mesprit or something. Something along those lines. But a Suicide Stealth Rocker along those lines. That or Ribombee for webs. They can keep them on the field much better now, and they actually have a little wiggle room since they're not handing a turn of setting screens to the opponent. Other things, like a good hyper offense mon right now, is Poltegeist, which I am filled with glee saying, because Poltegeist is adorable. And the thing that's really kind of taking off as far as it's set, instead of just going straight Shell Smash sweeping, is Strength Sap and Cursed Body as a move and ability combination, which, if you play your cards right, allows you to beat what would otherwise be counters, like Zarude and Incineroar. If you strength sap them enough that they aren't killing you and you're healing more than they're doing, and they keep smacking you and your Cursed Body pops off on their Darkest Lariat, for instance, then you're fine. You just start shell smashing and win. It's fun. In other Ghost-type news, Golurk is huge down here because it's got such a cool type combination, and the coverage and moves to go with it. Throw a Choice Band on a no-guard Golurk and go to absolute Bonker Town, throwing out Poltergeists and Earthquakes and no-guard dynamic punches.
Love that.
You have a fun time, yeah. It has such cool ways to get around its counters. You can even go to like a kind of defensive set and have Stealth Rock in there. It can be your setter and spin blocker. Like, Golurk is cool. I wish Golurk was slightly better and you could use it in OU. Oh well.
But it's still fun Pokemon. It absolutely is.
Yeah. Raikou continues to be arguably the best electric type, probably because it got scaled this generation and is just fast enough to be good. Crobat is now no longer bad Noivern, which is an upgrade. It's kind of been considered that for a long time. It checks Roserade far better, for instance, just because it's resistant to Sludge Bomb. And it also has Never Miss Toxic, and is just kind of sturdier in general. So, use your Crobats, kids. It's good again. And finally, kind of like with the UU situation, we've got two Pokemon that right now, if the tier shift happened today, would probably be UU. So people are kind of anticipating what'll happen if/when they leave next month. Those Pokemon are Zarude and Rhyperior, which, if they leave, electric types will continue to own the tier even more than they do so now, as well as some flying types, like in particular Togekiss could really take over the tier. You're welcome, P. McGee. I hate you.
You really don't like flying types.
There are a couple rocks. I hate flying types so freaking much, and I don't know why.
I can leave.
Like, when I make teams, the Pokemon I like using hate flying types, so that means I, by proxy, hate flying types so much.
What you hate? No, because you don't have a favorite Pokemon. Your favorite Pokemon is Poison Heal.
Apparently. But I mean, look at the Poison Healer. Like, Breloom's the original, and he does not like flying at all.
Flying is really just a stupidly good offensive type. There's only Rock and Steel really stop it, and if you can stop them, then it's nuts.
I'm glad
I just have way too much.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was going to say I just have way too much
singing my praises for me. I don't have to be so gauche. You're saying I have a team where I can guarantee everything has Airstream? Huh?
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you so much. That's not even something I even had to worry about mentally, and now I hate you even more. I forgot about Dynamaxing as usual.
Yeah, Dynamax makes it better. I'll say that for sure. I mean, that's honestly...
No, it doesn't. Before I have an aneurysm, let's hit NU.
Yes.
What's going on, Shark?
Right now, Blastoise and Sirfetch'd are starting to step themselves up in usage right now. Just being able to shell smash with Blastoise, and just Sirfetch'd just hits stupid hard. Just choice band first impression, just a whole heck of a lot. Currently, some of the ways you can stop it is, getting something like a Scarf Heliolisk, just so that you can always outspeed Blastoise, or use one of my favorite.
Oh yeah, because it's faster.
Mm-hmm. Scarf Heliolisk faster than a +2 Blastoise, or you could try to go a little defensive with one of my favorites, Araquanid. You could be able to Toxic Stall, throw some webs, and just be annoying.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like it.
And then Kingdra's also spiked up in usage, specifically the Crit Draw set where you get Focus Energy, Scope Lens, and everything's a crit. So it's kind of led to things like Escavalier and Drapion running Shell and Battle Armor, so they can't get crit. So that's a fun, interesting.
Funny.
And
that means if it's dropped, it's. Oh, I apologize.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that means if it's dropped its special attack a couple times from Draco Meteors, then
Drapion
it's even worse.
Oh yeah, it's so bad. No, that's a real think about it, just a -2 Draco Meteor into an Escavalier. It doesn't little zero. That thing's a tank, so that'll be fun to see. Hyper Offense still lives even without Light Clay. Xatu is a big part of that because it's able to screens and then teleport freely into getting your momentum keep that momentum going. And then also being a Xatu as well kind of protects your any focus sashers because of Magic Bounce. So no Stealth Rocks for your opponents.
Mm-hmm.
And also, there's not really many viable dark types. The things really dark type-wise, you've got like Drapion and Guzzlord. Like the only real things to kind of stop that. So a lot of ghost types kind of fiend down here, such as Golurk, Decidueye, Delmise, and even Silvally Ghost. And we got a fun little spice rack here with the Xatu holding Colbur Berry. Or you can have it hold no item or Wakanberry, depending on what you're targeting. Are you targeting the dark types or the Poltergeist users?
Poltergeist or knockoff, either one.
Poltergeist or knockoff. Yeah. The ability Magic Bounce, run 252 HP, 240 defense, 16 speed, timid nature, and you run Light Screen, Reflect, Thunderwave, Teleport. That's a perfect way to set up your offensive sweeper, whether it's Blastoise or Crit Draw or whoever you want.
Just pray nothing has taunt.
It's got magic bounce. You don't need to worry about that.
Sure. That is accurate.
Just no parting shot. Actually, no, parting shot would actually help.
Well,
parting shot would
it
help.
makes you bounce out. Yeah.
You would if you do it on the turn they teleport. I mean, you free momentum for you.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it even better.
Fairness.
You get more screen turns.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a fun little spicy set there.
Yeah. All right, Lynian, bring us home. What's going on in PU?
Mostly mold. So, Light Clay was also banned, but the only thing that's really happening here is they're doing my boy dirty. They are trying to kill a poor defenseless tree. So like the heroes of the 90s, I must chain myself to it. Alolan Executor, people are talking about banning it. This is a mistake. I don't know about the meta. I've never played it. It's a horrendous mistake to ban this Pokemon. It's really slow, and it's typically running Specs or Banned, because this thing has a pretty strong mixed move pool.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's got Dragon Hammer for not, if you don't want to just go like the full outrage. It's got Draco Meteor, it's got Seed Bomb, it's got Leaf Storm. It's like you generally do run it special, particularly with its access to a lot of really strong psychic and fire moves and stuff. But there are physical sets. It's adaptable enough so that counters are having a real hard time just like, oh yeah, spec to tank it. Some people are just doing 4 attacks and Miracle Seed. Because why not just make it that much harder to get countered? It's so good that people are prepping for it, so people prep for it hard, and so people who think it should be banned are like, oh, it warps the meta around it, and it's also kind of bad in that it's so good, everyone knows how to handle it, so you don't get to do the thing that it's good at. Which,
it's kind of a weird way to think about it, where something's so good that it's bad. It's a weird mentality.
Yeah, it's like if something only had one viable set, it probably shouldn't be an S tier, even if it enabled other things. It's like one strong set with like maybe possibility for some mild spice isn't enough to make something completely meta defining. We're talking about Slowking.
Yeah, I know. I feel it.
No Spice Rack, because it's PU. You know what? Here's my Spice Rack. Run Physical Executor. People will never see it coming. I don't think it has knockoff, does it?
I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah.
I need to look into
Gen
this.
1, it might. It wouldn't surprise me
it's
if
also
it did,
in a Alolan form.
But they got good tutor
execute
moves in that gen.
Yeah,
We're still waiting for our good...
Gen 1.
Give me a second. I'm looking into this.
Scrolling. Knockoff, yes sir!
Well, it didn't get it in... Yeah, it did. It got it in Gen 7.
Yeah. 105
Boom,
attack.
run knockoff.
Still... Knockoff, Seed Bomb, Stomping
Dragon
Tantrum,
Hammer.
Superpower,
Dragon Hammer.
Iron
It's got
Tail,
lots of stuff.
Breaking
There aren't many
Swipe.
fairies overall, so...
Yeah, Breaking Swipe, Tank Tree. Let's go.
Yeah. Just don't get hit by an ice move. You're fine.
Oh, it's got Earthquake. Oh, what am I saying? Stomping Tantrum. Draw an Earthquake.
All right. Well, that's where we're going to cut it for tier time, and we're going to hop on over to the topic where we're going to be talking about Battle Spot Single and Summer League. So we will be right back.
And now for our main topic.
And welcome back to the topic. As I said before, we are talking BSS and PUCL Summer League, and that's why I've got who I've got here with me, because they know a lot more about it than me. So we are going to go ahead and I think we'll start off with kind of a recap of what the rules are for the PUCL Summer League, so you have kind of a context of how it's different than BSS, how to go into prepping for it, and things like that. So Lynian, as a gym leader this year, how about you give us a rundown of what they can expect from the gym leaders?
Okay, so it's going to be doing Battles Series 9. I don't think we're going to roll into Series 10 by the end of this, so it doesn't matter too much, but we're doing Battle State in Singles, which is a bring 6, choose 3 kind of thing. It's the standard, can't bring two of the same Pokemon. The thing, if you're coming from Smogon, that's going to really throw you is there's an item clause, so you can only have one copy of every item. It has to be battle ready. So it's really standard, and there's a lot of stuff that you can look into for how to deal with that. But the gym leaders all have a type, but they're not going to bring 6 Pokemon of that type necessarily. So what we're required to do is we're required to have 4 Pokemon that are of that type. There will also be 2 Pokemon that can be of any type. One must have an offensive move of the type that we have, and the other one must have an offensive or status move of that type. And we can just have, like, I'm flying type, so for instance, I could have, I don't know, a Drampa with the Defog, and that could count as my status one, and then have a Barrascuda with Bounce, and that would be another thing. But we're encouraged, extremely encouraged, to have, when we're picking our 3 for the match, 2 of a type, and then 1 of our wild cards. So you're not going to fight just 1 of that type. You can counter team a little bit, but these wild cards are to encourage more well-rounded styles. Gym leaders have 2 teams, and an easy and a hard. The goal of the tournament is to collect 8 badges by the end of the badge collection period, which is sometime in, I want to say
August 1st.
July. August 1st.
Yep.
Okay. You need to collect 8 gym badges. Your first 3 badges will be against the easy teams, which are just, they're competent, but they're not super overpowering. Badges 4, 5, and 6 will be against the hard team, and battles 7 and 8 will be mandatory best 2 of 3s. So no getting lucky through one fight. You actually have to beat us when we're learning your team too. Some of the gym leaders have teams that do really well in best of 3s too. If they have, like for instance, pick up like a weather core but have another mode outside of it, so they realize their weather isn't going to cut it, they can just switch. There's all sorts of fun things like that. Once you have 8 badges, you're entered into a tournament at the end. While you're able to freely switch teams up until you get your 8th badge, the tournament at the end, you will send in your team, and that's the only one you're allowed to use. And at any point in the tournament, it is totally okay for you to use rental teams. This isn't supposed to be hard. This is supposed to be getting you into the game. That's it.
Cool. Yeah, that's a really good summary. Thank you for doing that. Because while BSS is its own thing, and we're going to be kind of talking general BSS strategy just because that's the format, the fact that it's still got the weirdness of the typing restrictions makes it kind of our own thing, which we kind of dig. I remember doing it as the grass-type gym leader a long time ago, and I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, we used to have very different rules, and then we couldn't do OU on cart, so it changed.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember I had Grassy Pledge Silvally, and I never used the move, but I had it on it because that filled the role.
Yeah.
Yep. I had Stakataka as the rock gym leader. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year I had the ground, so I did a lot of sand team, and I know for a fact that a lot of people did try to counter team me either by bringing, rain, because obviously that's going to stop sand, or they bring Rillaboom, which was also a pain in my butt.
Ooh, yeah.
Like either one of those.
Celesteela.
That's the first tip for Battle Stadium singles. Bring Rillaboom.
Yeah,
Rillaboom
honestly.
is just an all-around good Pokemon, and if you don't have anything else to stick, that's a good starting point.
There are a lot of things that are better. There are a lot of things that are used more often, but just as honestly as a way to start, what does it do? It clicks Grassy Glide, sometimes Wood Hammer, and sometimes another move. Cool. Really simple Pokemon that stand on their own do a lot better than complicated multi-Pokemon cores in general.
Yeah. One thing I think we'd be remiss without reminding listeners is that being BSS, Dynamax is legal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's Dynamax.
Oh, yeah.
There's that. So, yeah.
Definitely
Just as a
Dynamax. Back on Rillaboom, make sure you have a G-Max Rillaboom.
Oh yes,
Don't need to
G-Max
send grassy terrain. More generally, some advice for Battle Stadium singles. You only need to get 3 knockouts. Survivability is not your best friend all the time. Very few walls are particularly good in Battle Spot singles. Zapdos can be run defensively, and it's not often, but it can be. Porygon 2 see some usage, but other than that, you really need to be able to not die immediately and hurt the opponent. You don't want to play these drawn-out battles of attrition, because you just don't have the reserves to pull it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then I'm no longer interested.
No, yeah, Battle Stadiums is definitely a lot faster of a format. It's not about, Battle Stadium 8, which had the Legends, you did have some stall cores do a little bit better, just because you needed to combat some of the extra high-powered offenses. But in this format, bulky offense, I think, tends to have a lot more success. So things like Zapdos, Feeny, do a lot better for you than things like Quagsire, Clefable, Toxapex, Ferrothorn, that kind of thing. Porygon 2, I think, is the one real true defensive Pokemon that gets you through.
Looking over Pikalytics, which is a good place to check how things are used together. If you start at the top and go down, you hit Porygon 2, the next number 6. The next most popular Pokemon that I would call truly defensive is Toxapex at number 19.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Celesteela's at 14, but it's mostly run offensively with weakness policy.
Yeah.
Because if you can Dynamax, you Airstream, get your speed up, and then they can't kill you in one shot because you're bulky and you're Celesteela. You get weakness policy procs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's another thing about Battle Spot Stadium. Why can't I think of words? Oh, weakness policy is not only an item, it's a very good item.
Very.
Oh, yeah. Weakness policy, a lot of those were very popular early on, and you still see it a lot. Things like Rhyperior still runs weakness policy a decent amount. Glastrier still runs weakness policy sets. So you'll still see, if you see those, be ready for that kind of thing. Even Dragapult or Dragonite will run
Dragonite,
weakness
especially because of multi-scale.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When you're looking at Pokemon, just remember that things that are banned in OU are not banned here. Cinderace, Libero Cinderace, number 3 in usage. It punches holes in pretty much everything.
It's a very solid lead. You either run it Life Orb or Sash or Scarf. Scarf is good to be able to outspeed some of these Dynamaxes at +1 from max Airstreams and be able to kind of revenge it back.
Or just to be able to kill other Cinderace. One of my... I will lightly tip the hand on my easy team. Pokemon that can boost their own survivability as well as their offenses are good. Rillaboom comes to mind. I have a Grassy Seed Acrobatics Rillaboom. Because that's flying type move.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, but having a base 100 HP, 90 base defense that's getting multiplied by the Grassy Seed, and then priority, so my speed isn't too big of an issue, that's a real threat that you have to be able to adapt to.
Mm-hmm. And if you decided to Dynamax it, you've already got the +1 defense, and then you have access to high horsepower that'll boost your Spadef as well. So you have things like that, max steel or max ground, to be able to kind of boost your own survivability as well, to make a bulky offense attacker even better.
Rillaboom also has a G-Max. So you're like, I have a Mimikyu. The Mimikyu will just take a hit, and then no, because the G-Max move ignores abilities. So you just bump, bang, and then it's dead. And you just sit there awkwardly scratching the back of your head, wondering where it all went wrong.
I forgot about that part of the G-Max attack. Rillaboom's good.
There are not many G-Maxes worth running. The starters are them.
Yeah, most of the starters
Urshifu.
I think are good. You'll occasionally G-Max Lapras. It's not as popular as early on, but if you see it, it's likely going to run screens to give you that extra, give your bulky offense that much more boost, or give your kind of your Cinderaces, your Lando T's that extra survivability to get that extra hit on you.
Mm-hmm. It's about getting to the next hit. Pheromosa, it's not very good here. It's only 25 when it's banned in Ubers, just because it can't survive anything, even Dynamax. It'll get completely exploded out. Triple Axle won't save it.
But things like that and Urshifu can still be run, but they'll likely run Focus Sash, so they'll be able to get 2 hits off, more than likely, being able to be both very fast threats and be able to hit hard. Either Pheromosa just having that stupid attack stats and stupid speed just to naturally be able to hit it, or like Urshifu Single Strike, being able to survive the hit, punch through any of your defenses or screens with Wicked Blow, and then Sucker Punch on top, just to guarantee the KO.
And because of the ubiquity of Focus Sash, Urshifu Rapid Strike is more popular than Urshifu Single, because the triple hit is relevant. It'll help you get through that kind of thing. So there's a lot of give and take. Seth, I have a question for you.
You bet.
What is your because you don't play a lot of Battle Spot singles, but you do play a lot of OU. What
Correct.
is your instinct when you hear about these kinds of type restrictions for the gym leaders? How would you approach this?
How would I approach it with the type restrictions for the gym leaders?
So not like from a gym leader perspective. Like if you're trying to take on a gym leader, how
right?
What are you going to do? Because you've got that type in mind, but you also know that they're not super invested. How would you handle this, just from a showdown perspective?
Very honestly, I would know what the gym leader's typing is, but I would try not to have that factor too terribly much in how I craft a team. I would try and get one thing that you like, that clicks well with you, that you understand what you're doing with it, all 6 members, and go into the challenges with that. And another thing, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Lynian, there's probably some kind of stipulation here, but you can re-challenge these gym leaders. Like, it's not one and done.
Yes.
If you mess up, if you didn't do it right the first time, if your strategy didn't click and you maybe do need to kind of counter team, like you're running mono electric against the ground guy, yeah, you may need to make an adjustment. But you can go after him again. You can give it another shot with a totally different team. Mm-hmm. There's no rule there.
So there's one thing to warn about, particularly towards the beginning and the end of badge collection. Gym leaders are probably going to have limits on how often they're allowing each individual person to challenge them. And if you want to do a rematch, you go to the end of the queue. You don't just get to go, no immediate runbacks. This is just to keep things fair and to keep things friendly. But by and large, try as many times as you need. We're not here to stop you from playing in the tournament. We are here to encourage you to train and to grow. And you don't do that by having one opportunity to succeed or fail. If you only have one shot and then you blow it and then everything is terrible, you don't have a fun learning environment, you have the public school system. And that's not what we want to recreate here.
It's like the real gyms in the games. You've saved the game right before it, and you take them on as often as you are able to do so, depending on their schedule.
And exactly.
Low-key, be polite when you're trying to schedule. They're busy. They have 100 people to try and battle. So
definitely on the first, definitely the first week, just be ready. Yeah. Just like if they don't get to you, just be patient. They will work with you, hopefully getting a time that works best with both of y'all outside of normal hours if needed, or you can always do it another week, There's no huge rush, but definitely do it sooner than later. But so that way you're not too far. That way, at least if you need an extra try or two, you got that cushion.
As I have said to other people, like, you'll look at the types and be like, wow, fairy type, that's probably one I want to fight when it's easier, so I can wait for... No. The real meta is to play every gym leader every time you possibly can. You just need 8 badges. There are 10 possible. Just challenge as often as you can if you really want to get through, because that's how it's gonna have to be. You can't get through on one attempt, or at least at the very least, it's not assured.
Mm-hmm.
So go, just challenge as many of the gym leaders as you can. All of us have very different playing styles. I am aggressive, and I picked a very aggressive type. On the other hand,
you did.
On the other hand, P. McGee has a very different playstyle to me, and he took fire, which is low-key one of the better defensive typings.
Yeah, he plays definitely a more bulky defensive style of play when you fight the fire gym this year.
Trevster has a very defined playstyle where he tends to be very similar game to game, not a slam on him. It's just he has a linear kind of game plan, which is something else you need to learn to handle. And he has Steel type, which can actually augment that pretty well, has fewer weaknesses. So do you want to fight that first or later? You don't. You don't care. You want to fight it as soon as you can every time, like every other gym leader.
Yeah, don't meta when you're like, if 3 badge mode, 5 badge mode, last badge. Like, don't meta it. Just do it. YOLO.
Hey, I can't beat this gym leader. What should I do? Either adapt your strategy or try someone else. You don't need all 10. The only time you'll ever need more is if we have so many people who get 8 badges that we have to be like, all right, it's completion date, and if you challenged extra gym leaders and got 9 or 10, then you're in. We try not to do that. It doesn't often happen, and frankly, there are 10 difficult trainers. We do not usually have an overabundance of qualified battlers.
No, usually, like, the worst thing is, like, it's the seeding in the tournament. Like, last time, I think we had, like, what did we have? I think we almost had, like, either was, like, 14 or 20. I don't remember what number it was. But it was basically whoever got the most badges first got, like, the first seed, and then it just kind of staggered from there.
Yeah.
That's how the, quote, seeding was in the tournament. So if you want to get a bye, then, yeah, you got to try to get all 10.
But don't worry about it. Just play your games. Do you want to go over, like, what the gym teams and leaders are? Because I have that up.
Sure.
When I say teams, I mean types. I'm not going to, like, say, all right, Dennis has...
He's running? No. Yeah, give us a rundown.
Yeah, so we have... I'm going to give you a rundown, and I'm going to give you the rundown that is probably more helpful, because it's going to include the times that you can battle them.
Subject to change. Always check the Discord for any updates.
Yes, check Discord. Yes. If anything changes, oftentimes what it'll be is, hey, this week I'm doing it at these other 2 hours instead because something came up, so just keep an eye out. But the standard hours, Mondays we have Huitku running the water-type gym from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All the times I'm giving are going to be in Eastern Standard Time. And I will be running mine from 10 p.m. to midnight on Mondays. Shamu on Tuesdays has 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and Grail is running and he's running bug type as he runs every year. Grail Mercenary is electric type, running from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday, P. McGee is running from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. and he is fire. K King is fighting type and he is going 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Thursdays. Friday, we have Trevster, same 8 to 10 slot. He's running steel. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern, we have Thatch running the ground type, and Dennis running from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. With dark type. And Whimsicott, our lovely European fairy gym, is running from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Sundays.
Yeah, and that will be the first opportunity to get a gym badge, as of listening. Because that
it starts the 12th, I believe.
12th? I thought it was 13th.
Sorry, the 13th. So yeah, Whimsicott will be the first one, and I will have the luxury of being the first person to potentially have to use their hard team.
Nice.
Great, I'm glad I got both of those set up.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Well, cool. That's a good recap. Did I answer your question the way you were kind of thinking when you asked how I would go about it?
Yeah. You did.
Just focus on getting a good core, because likely that might be a good basis for your future team when you come to tournament time.
The other thing I was going to say clicked real fast, then we'll get to Seth's question.
Yeah, go for it.
BSS is typically built with what I call not typically, but is often built with 2 modes. So what you'll have 2 modes. So 3 Pokemon that work really, really well together. An example being like a Rain Core, a Sun Core, a Trick Room, whatever it is. 3 Pokemon that work really well together. 3 Pokemon that do really well against what beats that first thing. So let's say I've got 3 Pokemon that are a pretty solid Rain team. I might fill out my other 3 slots with things that do well against things that beat Rain. And then you can mix and match where you bring 2 Rain things and then 1 thing that doesn't do so well, but it might counter what they bring. Or you can go full Rain or no Rain, and you're not trapped into it. It's really easy to say, hey, I'll take Pelipper and then 5 potential Rain Mons. And then they have something that beats Rain and you just lose. Where if you did like a 3-3, if you went full Rain, all you've lost is a little flexibility, but you now have the entire flexibility of a second strategy and core. And then they have to play the fun little Russian roulette of, do I prep for Rain or do I prep for anti-rain?
Mm-hmm.
Anti-rain. Yep. And yeah, that kind of feeds into the question that I was going to ask of you guys, which are, what are, in your thought, some good cores that you've seen before? And we'll probably go over a couple in the team of the episode after this, because there's some cool ones in there. But what are some good cores that you might have seen in your BSS or gym prep time?
I would say probably the most, quote, generic, but probably the most popular would be kind of this like bulky offensive core, really centered around Zapdos. Zapdos just has enough raw natural attack, special attack and speed, plus the ability to boost its own speed with max airstream, and as well as a great defensive typing and that natural bulk to be able to take multiple hits in Dynamax form. So that's a fairly popular basis for a core, and you'll usually pair it with, with a good bulky water or grass type, things like Rillaboom or Tapu Fini. You'll get sometimes with like Dracovish, Cinderace, Urshifu, just to kind of augment that. And you also get some like...
And if you don't want to be a coward and hide behind your bulk...
yeah.
Wow. I feel attacked.
A strong offensive core is what I tend to lean towards. Mimikyu and Cinderace are fun together, mostly because they check different things very well and can punch holes. And finishing out with either Rillaboom or Dracovish. Rillaboom is great because it priorities up and just wails on things, and if it's slow, you just click Woodhammer instead and watch something lose like 50-60% of its health if it's neutral. Alternatively, just bring Dracovish, because the things that can soak up attacks from your Cinderace and Mimikyu probably aren't that fast. So,
speaking of slow things... Trick Room cores are still really good as well. Mimikyu itself is probably, honestly, one of the premier Trick Room setters in the meta because of its ability disguise, just giving it a free focus sash. And it's able just to be able to get a nice Trick Room up and be able to use something like Curse to take itself down to just kind of whittle down your opponent while being able to pivot into your Trick Room sweepers, such as like Rhyperior, Tyranitar, or more popularly Glastrier, because that thing can take a lot of hits and is a great Dynamax Pokemon. Also, Porygon 2 and Cresselia are also good Trick Room setters. So you'll usually run a Trick Room setter, your sweeper of choice, and then you'll run something like a Cinderace or an Urshifu that has the sash, so that way after the Trick Room ends, then you're just kind of a one-on-one. And those Pokemon just always win the one-on-ones. As long as their sash is intact, then they'll take out whatever your opponent has, usually.
And that is how you win.
Yeah, sounds like it. I think that's a good summary. So, what I think we're going to do here is we are going to give you guys a team free of charge that you can attempt to take down these gym leaders with. Just be advised that Lynian will know the team backwards and forwards. So, maybe not him, but
You think I remember any of this? We end the call,
true.
I go downstairs, have some soup, and commune with the universe. There's nothing left after that.
That is very true. You sound like me. But we will be right back with the team of the episode in the BSS format.
And now for the flavor of the month.
And welcome back to the team of the episode. This team was found by Shark Finnegan, who's been... you've tried it out a couple times? Is that what you said?
Yeah, no, I've been playing around with it so far. It's been a lot of fun just to kind of experiment with here. I still got a few things I want to look into this team, but this is definitely a lot of fun so far that I've been playing with it.
Cool. Awesome. I'm real excited. And as a reminder, we will be putting the code for this rental team in the episode description or whatever it is. So you can grab that code, type it in, and use this team against our gym leaders. So we'll give you a description how it works so you kind of know what to do. So go ahead and start us off, Shark.
All right, so this team is called the Super Bird Bros by Photon on Smogon. Just going to credit him for that. So the big thing with this team is that you're wanting to set up for your offensive win piece, whether it's a more hyper offensive or a more bulky offensive win con. So the first piece to it is Garchomp, which is probably going to be one of your more common leads. It's holding a Focus Sash with the ability Rough Skin. It's Jolly Nature, 228 attack, 28 Spadef, 252 speed, Jolly Nature, and the very, very unique thing of it is having 16 defense IVs. The reason for this,
really weird.
The reason for this is that you're able to invest some amount into your Spadef a little bit here, but then also not trigger Porygon's 2's download to boost up Spatak. So it'll force it...
It just does attack instead? That's...
Exactly. Oh. So you can't go and try to counterattack you with its +1 ice beams kind of a thing. So, and it still survives some of the main thresholds that it's going for. It's got Scale Shot, Earthquake, Rock Tomb, and Stealth Rock. The big thing is to get Stealth Rock online as early as possible. You want to be able to keep Focus Ashes broken on your opponent's side so they can't stop your win con. So you can be able to just constantly one-shot them. Rock Tomb's able to kind of just slow down any of your opponent's leads. If they're leading with like a Dynamax Zapdos, you can just keep it nullifying its airstreams. And then Scale Shot and Earthquake are just good ways to just kind of chunk some damage and give yourself a little bit of offensive power. And it is able to survive, thanks to the investment here, is able to survive a Choice Band Urshifu Rapid Strikes, Surging Strikes. It's only about a 12.5% chance to OHKO. So that's the fun little benchmark that it's awesome. Going at. But the other possible lead you can run with this team is Tapu Koko, the first of the Super Bird Bros. It's holding a Light Clay with Electric Surge, 228 HP, 84 Spadef, 196 speed, Timid Nature. It's got Volt Switch, Nature's Madness, Reflect, and Light Screen. So it's helping, this is your big screen setter to help make your win con super bulky and just kind of whittle down whatever's in front of it with Nature's Madness or be able to pivot out with Volt Switch once you get your screens up. It's still got enough...
I like it.
It's still got enough defenses as well to make sure that the attack download is what triggers from Porygon 2 as well.
Again with that? That's awesome. That's oh wow, that's a lot of prep that goes into this. That's very cool.
And its speed is able to put... Let's see, what is its speed for? Its speed puts us at +2 on Tim and Naganadel, outrunning both of them and bulky Dragapults. that are EV to be +1 on Naganadel.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, Dragapult's a common screen setter in this format, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And now...
What a weird world. What a weird world.
Right?
Yeah, so you end up with this team, you'll either bring one or both of these Pokemon most commonly to be able to set yourself up to win with one of these two options. Seth?
Sure. We'll go right into me for the other bird, bro. And we'll start with him. The other bird is Blaziken. To just wrap the game up. It's holding a Life Orb. The ability is Speed Boost, of course. EVs are very simple. 252 attack, 4 special defense, 252 speed with an adamant nature. And the moveset is equally as simple. Flare Blitz, Close Combat, Thunder Punch, and Swords Dance. Basically, you get your screens up, send Bird Bro number 2 in, Swords Dance once, and go to town. And keep in mind that if the Tapu Koko has set electric terrain, Thunder Punch is boosted.
Yep, that's absolutely correct.
So that's a thing. It's like Pseudo Stab, except not really as much anymore.
It's prickle.
Yeah, that's
it's not
the
quite
Blaziken.
stab. It's just slice.
It's spicy Thunder Punch. So the other win condition, which is much less angry than the bird, is the fish, and that is Tapu Fini, holding Leftovers. It's got the ability Misty Surge, of course. EVs are 252 HP, 92 defense, 164 speed with a bold nature. Do we know what that outspeeds? If you could look that.
I will double check and see what it's looking to outspeed.
Yeah.
No, while he's looking at that, I'm looking at this picture of Tapu Fini, and I just think it's just like what happened if like someone was like, I wish to be a mermaid. And it's like, okay, what's that? Well, it's like top half of a human, and the other half's a fish. And then they got top half of a fish and top half of a human.
Yes.
It's really unfortunate.
It's also T-posing on you.
Tapu Fi posing, yes.
Tapu T-pose. But to wrap up the ability, well, not the ability, pardon me. Bold nature, as I said. Moveset is Surf, Moonblast, Taunt, and Calm Mind. It's just a bulky Calm Mind setter that if something tries to outsmart it, it'll taunt it instead. And then just go to town, Surf and Moonblast. With Reflectin' Light Screen up, that's a bulky boy, girl, genderless fish, thing, siren.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know offhand what the speed is for.
I think it's mainly to outspeed, just max speeds like your base 60s, like your Tyrannitars, your...
Okay.
Some of those, like...
That sounds right.
Like any, like, super speedy Grimmsnarls or Lapras or something like... Or Aegislash. Mm-hmm. Aegislash might be a decent one that is trying to outspeed.
Yeah.
Yep.
On the other hand, we've got the stuff that I got. So...
Yep.
First off, we've got the Ice Horse with a Custat Berry. Because why not? It's very good, and it's very good with one of the moves that it has. Custat, if you don't know, if you get under a certain amount of HP, you eat it, you go first. And it's weird, because it doesn't give you priority, it puts you at the top of your priority bracket. So if they have Quick Attack, you still die. EVs, it's got 164 HP, 252 attack, 92 speed. I have no idea why.
It outspeeds +4 speed Rhyperior. So if you just like, your Rhyperior, you invest like max HP, max attack, and you just throw in your last 4 into speed.
Oh. I thought you meant like
+4.
Used a rock polish twice.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
no,
I was like...
not super fast Rhyperior. No.
How?
Okay. Four
invested
EVs.
speed.
Rhyperior.
Yes, yeah,
Got it.
Sorry, 4 speed EVs Rhyperior. Not +4. Oh,
Okay.
gosh. That would be
I'm like,
crazy.
when did it get Steam Engine and then get -2
What?
speed?
What a weird benchmark. Anyway, continue, Lynian.
Totally off topic. It does remind me of going, well, if we get 3 iron defenses up, that means we only have to put 112 defense EVs in to get the Oko for Melmetal.
Yeah, we were doing that kind of nonsense. That was hilarious.
So, It's got an adamant nature. It's got chilling neigh as its ability because it just gets to be the fancy Moxie horse. Icicle Spear, Close Combat, Heavy Slam, and Endure. You're probably going, that's a really bulky Pokemon for Endure. Why? Well, if you're just above a quarter and you're about to take 40%, you use Endure. You go down to 1, trigger your Custat Berry, and then annihilate whatever just dared to attack you. And then we've got something unusual for a bird team with an electric type. An electric bird! We've got Zapdos with the Key Berry. It has pressure. Is that a mistake?
Nope, it has...
You should change it for static. It has 220 HP, 220 defense, 4 special attack, 4 special defense, and 60 speed. Bold nature. It is running around with Discharge, Hurricane, Eerie Impulse, which drops special attack, and Roost, and a Key Berry. This thing really wants to get hit physically. Take away pressure. Give it static.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't consider that.
This thing is built very defensively. Once it gets hit with a physical attack, it will increase its defense. I was going to say something really snarky, be like, yeah, throw it into a Surging Strikes and watch as the other two deal less damage. And then I remembered how crits work.
Oh, yeah, dag nabbit.
Right? Like, I felt clever. And then I thought.
Then not so much.
Hurricane is mostly for Airstream, but it's also just like 70% of the time, works every time. Discharge is chosen here because it has a higher chance of paralysis than Thunderbolt for only a 10 base power change. Eerie Impulse means that despite only having really defensive investment, you're still able to tell people to sit down and shut up and let you roost. And a roost is to heal.
I dig it. Zapdos is one of my favorites because it kills Hawlucha. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. And when we were talking about earlier about having teams that kind of have these multi-modes, so obviously you want with this team to really, the big thing is to go all in with this Blaziken, where you can get rocks up with Garchomp, get up screens with Coco, and then Blaziken just can go off and be able to OHKO everything, and then anything in the back with Focus Sashes are broken, either because of Garchomp's Rough Skin or because of Stealth Rocks itself. So when you want to bring these other Pokemon, Glastier's mainly there for some of these dragon types like Dragapult or Nagadadel that are a little scarier. And Zapdos is there in case you think your opponent's going to go turn 1 Dynamax, which is fairly common in this format. So that's why you bring in this Zapdos here to just be able to tank that hit and be able to survive through any of these, Dynamax, Cinderace, Dynamax, Dragapults, or whatever that are trying to just win the game right on the spot. And then Tapu Fini gives you that alternate win con if you need to go a little bit bulkier. Something like if there's a Landorus or an Excadrill there where Sandrush Excadrill, that could be a nuisance to you. You can go that route because those guys cannot break Fini when it starts to going off.
Yeah. And they have a real easy time against Blaziken too. So you've got to kind of be ready for what you see at the preview. Well, cool. As I said, we are going to have this team code in the show notes or whatever it's called, so you can grab it and start using it next week when the Summer League starts up. Let's think of it as a little idea, as a little freebie. But other than that, if you like what you heard here, we've got more Puckle goodness all over the place for you. We've got, of course, the main show that happens every Monday. We've got other shows that happen on here on Puckle Plus, like the Game Corner show hosted by our friend Lynian here. And we've also got the TCG cast if you're into cards like I am, and if you're lucky enough to have events starting near you too, you can tune into that every month. And the Trivia Rewind is on Puckle Plus as well. The other thing that we all strongly encourage, especially if you want to participate in the Summer League, is join us on Discord. That's where it all happens, and that's where we all hang out too and can watch each other streaming silly games into the wee hours of the night. So join us on Discord. That's where the fun is. That's where you can come chat about anything, anytime, anywhere. And yeah, I think that... follow us on Twitter and Facebook too. Those are important to know a little bit more of what's going on as well. So yeah. Huzzah! I think I've hit all the plugs. So thank you for listening to another edition of Battlecast. And until next time, I have been Seth Vilo.
I've been distracted. No, I've been Lynian.
I've been Shark Finnegan.
And we'll see you guys in July.